Hello, Trey. So tell us about this event we had yesterday at GTI.
So yesterday we were holding well, we weren't holding, but there was a basketball game for the Cardinal Sheehan Center JV team, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And we had made their warm-ups, and we're showing them at the next event. We had created them, and just to see how it went, and just to test the waters and stuff, just to see
Went
if
through a
everything
trial
goes
type of
smooth.
thing?
Yeah, basically.
So how do you think your involvement with this so far with GTI, Grow Together Initiative, how do you think that's worked out for you just professionally, and do you think that gives you credibility to kind of serve and lead?
Yeah, most definitely. It gives me a great opportunity to just expand and grow with everybody and meet new people and have new experiences, just to be better and to grow, basically, obviously.
Great, yeah. And what do you think about just leading teams and whatnot, being in a leadership position, and how that's working out for you? And it's a little bit more challenging than you thought, huh?
It's a little difficult, but you gotta overcome situations. You gotta get uncomfortable to be in the situation or place that you want to be. So
and just put yourself out there. It's a little bit different. A little bit different, and
it's
the same in a lot of ways. It requires discipline, persistence, accountability, grit. Same kind of things you went through in football, but tell us a little bit about some of those, an example, if you will. Like if you're interviewing for a position, how does being a part of Grow Together Initiative, which just started a month ago,
right,
and all the things that you've done, because you've done quite a bit.
Yeah, a lot. Just recruitment standpoint, I've recruited a couple people on the team. I've just designed a bunch of different things, like the logo. I've also just worked with a bunch of different artistic things inside the company, and also just gathering and bringing people in together just to work and find people to work efficiently and be a team, basically.
And it's hard. I mean, setting, especially if they're friends, and they were friends, right?
Yeah.
It's very difficult because you set tasks, and then you have to hold them accountable, and persistent and disciplined to get them done. The task needs to be done. And you being responsible, that's not the easiest thing sometimes,
holds
right?
a lot of weight.
There's been a couple of different examples of maybe they didn't get done on time, and that wasn't too much fun to have those difficult conversations and say, okay, we need to get this completed, so have an escalation process.
Right.
Describe that a few times when it's happened.
Yeah, so it was just basically just butting heads with people, just trying to get the right message out there, and just trying to get the right way to say things, and just have people understand and have a same level of communication, and just like being together, just to work together. And
right.
It was very difficult, but we got along eventually.
And operating like a business, getting things accomplished like a business would, even though it's a nonprofit.
Exactly.
A lot of people are volunteering. We operate like a business, and we're very efficient with the way, always working on revenue growth, improving efficiencies, reducing costs, mitigate risk.
Yes, sir.
And just kind of operating like a business so that we can be successful, we can get a lot of funding, and then we can deliver a lot of events like we're doing at the Cardinal Sheehan Center.
Yep, the Cardinal Sheehan Center. And then we're going to be hosting a bunch of events coming up soon. Like I'm going to be hosting a Paint and Sip.
I was going to ask you about that.
The 16th, so.
Where's that?
That's going to be at Soul House Tavern in Middletown.
And what's that? So we can kind of tease the audience a little bit. When is that? What date is it? And how do they get registered? Are you set up yet to receive any of?
I'm gonna set that up soon.
Okay.
So, basically, it's gonna be on any of our socials and our websites. It's gonna be put up. There's gonna be a link. Have a little sign up to the people who you're gonna come with. I think singles is 30, and then couples is 50. So, and then just bring your people, bring good vibes, and then we'll teach you color theory and all types of fun stuff.
And how would you encourage people to engage with social media and engage our website? And why would they want to come back over and over? Because I believe that we're setting it up so that we have all these events and there's new content every day.
Yeah,
and
every single day we try to
promote
content,
people to kind of engage, and our followers really from yesterday to today alone it's tripled.
Yeah. And we just try to push our initiative and events to basically just get them out there and have recognition for people, and get the sponsors' names out there as well, with people that want to be a part of our community.
So that helps attract sponsors, right?
Correct.
I mean, because we're getting, obviously we're thanking them, and that gets their name out there and really helps them to kind of grow their business.
Right. We want to have those posted every single day. Just trying to keep our website up to date as possible and keep it new.
Yep.
Keep it
so
new and
one of the things that we kind of talk about quite a bit, you and I do, as far as there's no such thing as that's not my job.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I mean, everything is everybody's job.
Exactly. Yeah.
And kind of get that discretionary effort and that building that culture. I mean, talk to that, because we've gone through some good things and then some that we were struggling with because we're a startup.
Right.
We basically just started December 25th. And within a month, we've kind of overcome a lot of different things. Describe that a little bit about building teams and then having people kind of commit to things, and then if they're done, or if they're not done, do we have an escalation process, and kind of walking through everybody through that.
Yeah, so we basically just try to, like you said, it's not my job. Everybody does everything basically, and we just try to pass along different tasks to different people just to make it easier and more fun, not so it's just one person sticking to this one thing and just managing, so we have all different thoughts and ideas and we could bounce off of those. So it's basically, so if somebody wasn't able to do one thing, basically, we just pass it to the next person, see if they'd be able to do it, and so on and so forth, and just keep it as a continuous
and have a
chain.
Contingency plan, an escalation process that it gets done, the task gets done, regardless. And we're kind of structuring that, which can be challenging. I mean, just to get it structured in the first place.
Especially as a startup.
Once we build it, though, I think that we're starting to see the benefits of working with these different companies, because we also engage with them and kind of help them grow their business.
Right.
Which is kind of fun to learn.
Yeah, it
especially, we've got a lot of young members on the board of directors, and then some people who are more seasoned, if you will. So it's kind of nice to have the combination of the two working as a team.
Working as a team and just combining
that we can kind of grow
ideas
this and grow to the country, and then grow. Again, we've won 3 awards already in a very short period of time, humanitarian awards. It's kind of nice that we have that type of objective, and we work so well as a team in building that culture. How do you, when you're recruiting someone, what do you how would you describe Go Together Initiative and what we're doing?
Work with people and try to just push their message and combine it with ours and just make it as efficient as possible, and just to grow as a team.
Engage them, and we do that by attracting them to the website. And through social media, and then we gather maybe an event they want to do and say, great idea. So here's how much the events are going to be, and then we can get them, and they can even come on the show, right?
100%, yes, sir.
Which helps them to kind of say what they do, and it could be really anything, whatever they want to kind of talk about. We can kind of just encourage them to kind of speak about why do they contribute, and it's really to help serve all inclusive, and serve the community, and then have the community support individuals help build this, so we can kind of make this all work for all, and it makes it helpful to just benefit, Grow Together Initiative and help grow this, because we have our initiative is a big one that we're going to get across the country and really across the world, and we're able to get scalable very, very quickly.
And we have been scaling very fast, as we can see, and it's just only going to exceed from there and just keep going up. And if we can get as many people just working together and having the same faith, drive, and just determination, we could all get this. I don't know.
And we're looking at having an event for CT State, which you were a part of that program, on March 21st. Describe that a little bit.
So it's basically, isn't that the recruitment? It was just a recruitment, basically, just trying to get people's faces to get to know each other and show and introduce each other, and just try to get some know-how on the team and some more information on what CT State brings and what we can provide. Basically.
Awareness that you even have a football program.
Right, exactly.
And then all the benefits of going to CT State. Academic, because again, you go for free. Well, you get a scholarship to offset. You have to get your grades like you would anywhere. But you get a scholarship, so you do that. And then the athletic programs, you do have to pay, so you fundraise to maybe offset some of that cost. And then maybe have a tryout type of thing to encourage them, all the student athletes, that they have to make the team.
To just
and
make
to get the opportunity to play.
Much, it makes it feel that much more too when you make a team over than just signing up and joining, because anybody could sign up and join. Once you put that work in and actually show that you can play, it actually proves, and you can actually build chemistry off of that, because everybody has that one mission. It's same thing with GTI. Everybody has one mission to grow and to learn and just be one, basically, and to elevate.
And getting some funding would be good for the equipment.
Yep.
Travel.
Most definitely, yeah.
So forth and so on. There's a lot of costs that are involved with it. People don't know, and it'd be nice to get like a band, cheerleaders
and everything. Yeah, that'd be real cool.
Get the word out and bring awareness to all the different schools.
Right.
Because I've been at Middlesex Community College, and I've asked them, do they know anything about the football program,
and they say no. Yeah,
it existed.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of the campuses don't know that we have a football team. It's actually kind of crazy, but we need to start getting it more connected and into the school and just start pushing that out there so we can have tryouts and have a bigger team, just so basically we could just move together and
get
start
the attendance
to get the attendance and get attention to the team as well.
Yes.
Just to put the name out.
Then you can use this platform, Grow Together Initiative, to help funding for CT State.
Yeah.
But also for you to kind of work as a businessman to try to help facilitate all these connections and kind of teach people, right? Teach others, recruit others, and kind of teach them all the benefits of doing this. You're working with marketing, social media.
Yep.
You're working with all these different finance, marketing, operations, because you're working with operations as far as us collecting, logistically kind of figuring out, we're getting 100 bags or whatever from the rocks companies, Rock Johnson, and so forth and so on. So you just kind of start understanding that, and all the things just don't magically happen.
Right.
You have to kind of be involved, right?
Yeah, you have to put in the work in order
put it together and make sure the connections are set up so that you have the communications, the lines of communications, whether it's email, cell phones, so you can overcome some of these issues that might cause.
Right.
Which is kind of helpful. I mean, there's not many. How old are you?
23. Yeah.
23. Not too many 23-year-olds are on the board of directors of a nonprofit.
Yeah, no, not really. It is.
And you helped start this, so that's pretty good.
Right.
Do you think that will help you?
Yeah.
In looking at going whatever you're going to pursue.
Yeah, and
how you can kind of describe that you're on the front end, you're at the beginning stages, and we're working with a couple companies that we're kind of restructuring them a little bit. So that'll help give you good knowledge on how you can kind of be an entrepreneur. Would you think that everybody would benefit from kind of thinking more like an entrepreneur?
Oh yeah, most definitely, because there's a saying, it's jack of all trades, master of none is better than a master of one. So it's if you have that ability to go into different things in different situations, you could just literally do anything and be that person that's helpful, basically.
What's one of your enjoyment for like marketing and whatnot, as far as looking at the followers and whatnot? Do you think it's almost like playing a game, right?
Yeah.
It's like a video game.
It is like a video game.
And to tell us a little bit about that, about how excited you get when you put out a post and we get a follower or whatever, and we're kind of reviewing numbers and the reporting, and again, you are playing a video game. Right. You're building a business.
Yeah. Like just even putting in the effort to create the posters and all the different posts and stuff, it kind of feels rewarding just to see that the numbers are going up and people are actually viewing it and seeing that work that you're putting in, and it does feel really good, and it's uplifting just to see those numbers grow every single day.
And then conversely, what happens when you either don't post or you post something that doesn't get connected with? Does that motivate you to do better the next time, or is it something you kind of just get defeated a little bit?
Well, no, you can never really get defeated. It's always, the mindset is always get 1% better every single day.
And how do you think playing sports and then going to school and everything that you've done up to this point, how do you think it affected you from the standpoint of your discipline? You had to be accountable.
Yep.
You had to have
accountability.
grit.
Yeah, I was going to say you have to have a bunch of grit, determination, and just being headstrong, basically. And you can't let any type of criticism or any bad judgment get into your head. You have to just look past it and forget about the bad plays and just go on with the next one.
Right, and that replicates life so well. I mean, you being a student athlete, it kind of helps. It's easy to communicate that this is what goes on. I mean, you could beat one play, you have to come back and do something a little bit different to beat them. And we're talking football, obviously, but it's really life.
In anything,
you fail at something,
You have to.
Do you give up?
No, you practice.
I mean, companies need people who are going to overcome and adjust and adapt.
Exactly.
And then get things completed.
Right.
Get the task done no matter what.
Yep, 100%.
Especially when people's lives, and sometimes they are on the line.
Yeah.
It's an important thing
it is
for a lot, especially we're a nonprofit that we're giving to people in need for the most part.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it's kind of important. I mean, some people need, food to survive and maybe shelter if we're doing that, or access to technology that they don't otherwise have, or give them resources, access to resources and support.
And just, anything that people really is in a demand, not demand, but like you said, a need for. It's really what we try to get out and try to help the people that need it the most.
Do you feel fulfilled when you kind of connect with the Grow Together initiative as far as delivering that, and as we kind of build it out and we get more, because we kind of have an objective that whatever you say, the answer is yes. Whatever you want to fund, yes, we'll help facilitate that. I mean, I feel like we're kind of doing a very good job with trying to advance that and get people more connected, so and they get credit and acknowledged for helping us help facilitate.
We're here in the Bivens Family Center with Sweetiie Belle. So what do you think about this center?
I think the center is awesome.
What are some ways that maybe you can use this particular room we're in?
Well, as a musician, I'm actually working on an album right now, so I would love to come here and record some of my songs here.
So how do you think the Grow Together initiative with the Cardinal Sheehan Center helps facilitate you being able to use this room?
I think it gives a lot of good promotion and marketing opportunities for artists that don't necessarily always get them to, come do their stuff and show who they are to the world.
And thank you for singing the national anthem today. And thank you for just being willing to kind of connect, and support the Cardinal Sheehan Center and GTI Grow Together initiative.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, it's wonderful that you're able to kind of see the connections and see how beneficial it would be for you personally, and set up an opportunity for you to come into a studio and use other studios as well, correct?
Absolutely. I love collaborating with a lot of different people in a lot of different places.
And usually the Cardinal Sheehan Center. So would you recommend that people would support the Cardinal Sheehan Center?
Absolutely.
Fundraising and whatnot. I mean, this is a great environment.
Yeah.
And Lorraine Gibbons is wonderful, isn't she?
She's amazing, a doll. And I would definitely tell people, donate, definitely give what they can to help this type of community, because it's great and it benefits everybody that's involved.
And using Grow Together initiative to donate to them, and then we'll donate and fundraise for all these different areas throughout Connecticut, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
So any other remarks about this? I mean, how is the environment? How are the acoustics in here?
I love it. The acoustics are great. I love the colors. I love the setup, and it's very homey,
Yes.
I'm looking forward to coming back.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
So we have Sweetiie Belle here from our own Connecticut. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your journey throughout, and what your plans are for your career, and what your ambition is, and whatnot.
Well, I've always been into music. I'm a singer. I've always grown up in a musical family, so as far as ambition, I've always gone towards things that are music related. When I started professionally singing, it was a little hard for me to get out of my shell at first, but the music definitely helped me to connect to people. So I just kind of took that feeling and ran with it and continued to elevate it. You know what I mean?
And when you're on stage, how do you connect people? Because you did such a wonderful job yesterday. Connecting with the national anthem, and I know that's tough. It's to remember the words and whatnot. There's famous stories about people singing at the World Series and Super Bowl.
A singer's worst fear.
The words, and you did a wonderful job, and thank you for doing that for
you for having me.
And, the Cardinal Sheehan Center, and I know they appreciated you just being present and really connecting with the audience. How do you do that? What do you think are the big keys for you to truly connect and for them to feel your music, not just listen?
That's a good question. I think what the easiest way to be relatable, I guess, would be the way you say that, right? Through your music is to, well, first of all, be genuine and be true to it. You know, I write what I feel, I write what I live. So at that point, everybody goes through things, and a lot of people go through the same experiences. Just because you don't know them doesn't mean there's not someone else that knows exactly how you feel, you know? So I kind of take it that way in terms of the people that want to receive it and perceive it in a way that'll help them cope with whatever they need to. I love that. I love to be able to give that to people.
And that's difficult. Now, do you write the actual music itself as well as the
I
lyrics?
do write my own music, yes. All the songs that I sing, I write myself. Even on collaborations, I try my best. If they have something that they wanted me to sing or something like that, that'll be credited. But I make it apparent that I write my own music.
And I'm curious. So how do you come up with the inspiration? I mean, are there times that you kind of knock it out in a few hours, and then other times it takes a little bit longer because you have to kind of put things together and you don't necessarily hear it in your head? And I'm saying this from, I have no idea how you guys do it.
Absolutely. It's actually a little of both. It depends on the time, I think. It depends on the type of music. There's songs that I've written in a minute and a half, and there's songs that took me 3 months to write. I put it down and came back and finished it, you know. I think it's more also about what that particular song is about. Because like I said, I write what I feel. So if I'm writing a song about heartbreak, but I'm in a, like, you know, happy relationship, it's hard to kind of emote that in a way that I can execute it genuinely. So it's kind of like that. So to answer your question, I guess, yes.
I agree. I mean, I think it's incredible that you kind of bring your emotion to your music.
Thank you.
And people feel it. I mean,
I hope
even
so.
when you sang the national anthem, it was completely different than anybody else had done, but yet similar, in a good way.
Thank you.
I mean, and you didn't have any orchestra or anything behind you. You just played, or a band.
Yeah, acapella is its own breed of singing type, I think. Acapella is underrated, I think. A lot of people that do acapella singing, acapella groups and stuff like that, I give them props because it's not easy to keep your tone and tempo and stuff when you're already nervous about something too, and your heart is pacing. You got to try not to sing at the beat of your heart, but sing at the beat of the actual tempo of the song. So I give them their claps for that.
Yeah. How would you say, like, just memorizing music and whatnot, as far as when you're singing and getting the right voice fluctuation and whatnot, is that difficult, or is it? Or
For
do you kind of
covers
just
and stuff,
feel
you
it?
mean like that?
Right. For other music, I know your own. Maybe you're more familiar with it.
Yeah.
But it has to be kind of difficult at times. I mean.
Yeah. Even with the proper vocal training, like, it takes a while to learn how to control your voice. And I know that sounds silly because it's your voice, right? You should know how to use it, but it's not always that simple. Like, I was a music teacher as well, so even teaching younger students how to use their voice, I kind of relearned to teach myself how to do it. It's a lost art, I think, control, and it's actually one of the things I really admire about my idols, like, you know, Lauryn Hill, Stevie Wonder, a lot of the people that I am inspired by. Their control is absolutely insane and unmatched still to this day. So yeah,
that's outstanding. I mean, you know, so it's funny you bring up that you're a teacher, because that's what we do at
yes
Grow Together Initiative. Is we serve, lead, and grow is what we use, and it's be a teacher, because that the best way to learn something is to teach.
to teach it to others.
Because you have to know what you're teaching, right?
Absolutely.
And so you're learning, and you're teaching others how to grow and, you know, be a great leader in that regard. The great leaders are the ones that not only elevate themselves individually, they're good, but they elevate others to be better leaders.
I agree.
And that's kind of what you're doing. You know, most professionals in leadership positions have taught at some point in their life, and something.
That's true. Yeah, a lot of the people that are famous musicians, even look at their history a little bit. They might have taught at a middle school or been a music teacher for kindergarten one time. You never know, because a lot of those people have that experience already under their belt from experiences that they lived with teaching others. You know, so.
And you have to get
I'm grateful for that experience too.
And you have to be in front of people, conveying an idea, a thought,
and have the
purpose.
confidence to have them even believe in you. Like, you have to have them believe you. You know what I mean? So you have to believe it yourself, like you were saying.
Right. And we all learn a little bit differently. right? I mean, and maybe through music makes it easier for
yeah,
somebody
audio learners, you know, I'm an audio learner too, but I'm a very hands-on audio learner, so, and a visual learner, you know, which I think is everybody has their own, you know, different way of seeing things.
Of course.
But with music in particular, I think it hits all the marks. Like anybody and everybody, it's a universal language, you know? Anybody and everybody can listen to it and take something from it.
Because we all aren't so great at being in an academic environment where you have to just regurgitate what they teach you, right? I mean,
because
I wasn't a great student either, and I just didn't.
Really?
I don't know if you. I don't know if you were a good student or not, but I mean, a lot of people weren't necessarily good students because they weren't taught the way they learn.
That's very true. It's true. A lot of the things that we learn, we have to be taught repetitively to really know it. Like it can be learned, but to know it for sure, it has to be repeated over and over and over, so it sinks into your head and it becomes a pattern of repetition, you know?
So welcome, Aramis Wave and Sweetiie Belle. I'd like to first ask, how do we find you? You're Connecticut musicians.
Yes, sir.
You tour around. You have bookings of different events and whatnot. How would they go about finding each one of you?
First and foremost, you could just ask Siri. I know I have a little, you know, it's a little rough around the edges when it comes to my name. It might be right there on the screen and stuff. But you know, if you don't want to do the texting, you could just ask Siri. She got you covered. Say hey Siri, can you spin some Aramis.wave? And she got you covered. But if you want to take it an extra step, you can find me at any, you know, DSP platform, iTunes, Spotify, you name it. And yeah, we're just here for your pleasure, you know, here for your entertainment.
How do we go about having you kind of participate? I mean, what do you think about Grow Together Initiative? I know you just kind of discovered us. We just kind of built Grow Together Initiative. How do we use that to kind of help with including all? We're all inclusive for everyone, especially those in need, support, and resources, bringing those to everybody. How would we go about maybe having you participate in a concert or something that we have a fundraiser for any number of events? How would we go through that process?
I think conversations like these are like, you know, a great you know, step in that direction. Right? I think conversations like this and also bringing awareness. You know, there's a lot of individuals out here in this space that are looking for, you know, a community to share their passion with, not only their passion, but their ambition and how they can utilize their skill sets to, you know, bring it out to, you know, the community and stuff like that. And just, you know, word of mouth in 2026 is very real still. So, you know, just reaching out to your, you know, your brother or sister in arms, letting them know that what's going on, there's a lot of opportunity to be explored.
And just sharing the love, honestly.
And that right there, for real.
Yeah, and connecting with the group that's following you and have them discover you and have you connect to them, because it's always
kind of how this happened today. It's kind of
how it happened
today. Yes.
It was a pleasant surprise, you know.
Do you tour or do you have events that have multiple different musicians and that you connect with?
Yes, actually, shout out to Joey Batts and Hip Hop for the Homeless last December. That was exactly what you were speaking about, you know, connecting those kinds of communities, you know what I mean? Offering that platform to not only give back to the community through your skill set, but, you know, like make connections and make fond memories through these things and make it a breathable space that, it, you know, lives on not just for the holiday season, but throughout the year. And, you know, stuff like that is really what, you know, what me and I know Belle as an artist, you know, individual artist, that's what we look for, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Those rich environments that you can not only like, you know, grow in, but you can also put other individuals in that space to thrive in. Those kinds of environments are absolutely amazing.
Leaving that door open, it does a lot for people. It does a lot more than you might think, you know, opening that door to add to your point. Of you know, just even doing it in spaces like that, right? Just doing the performance or singing the song or doing the dance or whatever your art is, sometimes flips that switch in people's minds, like, oh yeah, like I want to do this too, you know what I mean? And not even so much as like a following, but more inspirational, more motivational from you know, the things that they're feeling from what they're watching.
And we all could use a little bit more of that, right? I mean, especially with the way the world is and whatnot, crazy. We need some inspiration, some energy, and you're bringing that. This is your gift to them to kind of inspire them. and you're connecting them to something that's really good.
Yes.
And connecting your audience and get feeling back and connecting them with each other.
I think that's
to help appreciate.
And I think also to piggyback onto that, like as you were speaking, I just couldn't help but think about how I kind of stepped into, you know, like my passion with music. And I do remember feeling like I had a passion, but I wasn't really, you know, I wasn't as confident as I wanted to be stepping into that passion, and being surrounded by individuals that was in that kind of environment that we're talking about to evoke that in you, to say, hey, you can do this too. Just because you see so-and-so, you know, really thriving or doing it a way that you want to do it, or, you know, like you draw comparisons, doesn't necessarily mean that can't be you, or you can't be you in your own way and your best version through that, you know what I mean? So steel sharpens steel in my book. Inspiration is the number one, you know, purveyor of growth, you know what I mean? So with that being said, you know, places like this, places like Hip Hop for the Homeless, Greater Arts Council, you know, individuals that are doing everything that they can to put people in that position to be their best selves and give back, you gotta applaud that, man. So if you guys are watching, make sure you guys stay tuned. We'll grow together, man, for real.
Yeah, and it just encouraging them to get out there, and you might fail, and it might not be the greatest, but you're at least out there, and you're going to continue to improve, and you're encouraging others.
And staying true to yourself is never wrong. Yeah, it's never wrong.
Because you've taught before, right?
Yes, I have.
Have you ever taught, Aramis?
No, man. I'll give it to her. I teach in different ways.
He teaches with the bars.
Well, you do teach. It's just not necessarily in an environment.
The school environment.
You're teaching us all how to listen to your music, and you're building connections, building families and communities and whatnot in a different way. So there's different ways you can kind of teach. And we all need to. Do you think it's advantageous to be a person who's out there with a voice and kind of give a positive voice? Because you're just trying to build communities. You're doing exactly what Grow Together Initiative is doing.
Yeah, I think that I strongly believe that, you know what I mean? I think that, you know, that's the only intent you can have behind it, because if you don't, it's going to just, the holes are just going to poke through, and you know, people are just going to see that that's not really what, they didn't even sign up for that kind of stuff. People really want, you know, rich, real, connective, and intention, you know what I mean? And so I don't necessarily think that you could get anywhere if it's not with that good intention behind it. I mean, you know, the powers that be, there's people that squeeze through the cracks or whatever, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about growth and positivity. You know what I mean?
So growth.
Intentional growth. That's a good point. So you like our mission?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because it's really just trying to connect the community and have the communities kind of connect to individuals and be inclusive of all. We need to bring everything together, and that's really what our mission is. And again, we can get scalable very quickly, especially with your help. Give, you know, concerts or whatnot across the country and across the world even. We've got connections that we can kind of make that happen.
Which is awesome. We here.
That's awesome. So
listen, we're here. The opportunities that are given to us, if we wouldn't take them, especially at the point I think both of us are in our career, like if we didn't take them at this point, it'd be a letdown, not to just ourselves, but to the people that have supported us up to this point. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that do want to see us succeed and do want to see us grow our community to make even more new mini communities of positivity and more music and even more collaborations. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we do what we do, not just for the love of our music, but because we love sharing our love with others.
Right.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Amen.
Can we get an amen on that?
And what's also important is yesterday, when you sang the national anthem, you were introduced to a studio that you might have access to.
Yes,
right?
which was also a very just pleasant surprise.
So that's their way of giving back to you.
Absolutely. See, that good karma comes around real quick.
We can kind of use different studios and get different environments, and that happened to be in Bridgeport.
Yes.
But, you know, having it throughout the state and then really throughout the country that you have access to, have more of these type of interviews and say, hey, we're just trying to spread.
You got to put yourself out there. You know, if you're listening, if you want to, you know, make yourself a part of this, a part of any kind of community, you got to really go out there. You got to shake hands. You got to, you know, you got to show some support so that, you know, people see that you're interested in what they have to offer, and that you guys can grow, you can build. You know, you build something fruitful from that and stuff. So I love that, man. Yeah. For real.
What do you think about coming on to a show like this and kind of we can do social media and whatnot, but what do you think about coming on to this and really promoting togetherness and building communities, and kind of using this event, if you will, to kind of promote getting people together to go to some place, look at events, coming to our website, and maybe kind of go and you kind of get communicated what the events are in your particular area. Encourage them to continue to go, kind of be a source for them to go and see you, right? And see you and others, that they might not otherwise, because we all get those kind of notices, but we don't really pay that much attention to them. The free concerts in the communities and whatnot, but we can have fundraisers and really encourage them to go out there and seek out things that in some cases are free, or they're voluntary donations, if you will, to solicit and build those communities. Because people are, they especially just went through COVID, right? The pandemic. And we're caught in our home, right? Right? And that was a shame that so many people lost those connections. I mean, the ones in school, they lost a year of literally not really connected, and that's more important than really the academic portion in some ways.
Losing social skills.
Right. And that you never get back. So we need to kind of create a better environment maybe to get people connecting with each other. And really truly helping and being willing to kind of reach out and say, you know what, let's connect. Because we've connected here, and I just met, right? I mean, I met you yesterday, but we connected already.
Did you tell them? Because honestly, that's kind of to add to your point. Like a lot of people don't know what really networking and socializing can do for them until they really go out there and do it. Like,
exactly.
I was one of those people. I'll be honest. I was not the social butterfly that I am today. But I had to kind of put a sock in it in terms of like not wanting to do certain things, because I realized the outcome of me talking to that person, or the outcome of me, asking that question, brought so many more open doors and opportunities for me at that point. You know what I mean? So ask the questions. Like don't be afraid to socialize. Don't be afraid really, to network and grow with people.
And kind of point out positives in the connection, right? Because you mentioned you were tired yesterday morning.
Exhausted.
But you didn't show it.
Not at all.
And immediately you just responded. You had to wait a little bit before we sang the national anthem yesterday. And you're just so positive about the whole thing, and you did a wonderful job.
Yeah, I was grateful to be there.
Convey that positivity is kind of important for every interaction that people have.
I agree,
You go and have a bad experience with someone, well, it doesn't help that you get angry and sometimes violent, and that doesn't help anything.
Yeah, let's
spread
into it.
Positivity amongst each other, and let's help each other.
Let's
have a mindset.
Your attitude determines your latitude. I forgot who said that. But
that's perfect.
That's a good one.
Because if you do have a positive attitude and positive intent and positive thoughts about how this engagement will go, it usually will come out in a very positive way.
You manifest greatness,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Law of attraction, man.
And then you have a good positive end result for both sides. And you just kind of come to that mutual area that, okay, this is good for you and it's good for me, and let's move forward. And you kind of encourages them to kind of connect.
And those should be the things that people invest in.
And then you get, even family environments, right? And just we all have families that, I have a very large family.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
We get it, yeah.
And so you have all kinds of things going on. But, the more you come together and have that, when we were talking before about listening to the radio and whatnot, and I grew up in a household that we listened to big band era.
Kept you guys all close, exactly. And that's those
listen
things.
To games on the radio as opposed to watching them on TV. It makes you listen. Which is kind of what your business you guys are in.
Yeah, I agree. A platform like this is something that I think every artist that's looking to, expand their brand, push their brand further, make more connections. This is something that you wanna invest in. You wanna be around. You know what I mean? Because there's gonna be another individuals or more individuals that feel the same way, and you wanna congregate and you wanna make sure that you see what's in your community, so you can not only build with your community, but help create that identity for the community. You know what I mean? Because there's so many talented people, so many people like all across the board looking for some kind of home somewhere to play where everybody kind of like sees like, yo, you know, I see that, I know that person, I know this person, I know that person. You know what I mean? And if you're looking to grow together, why not go to the place that's literally called it? You know what I mean?
And give them a voice because they have a very positive voice, right? And bring that.
They should be elevated.
You know, elevate that.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Thank you very much. And we're going to have you back and kind of continue to support each other.
I need my rebels to go ahead and tap into Grow Together Initiative. Okay, yes, we're on this bandwagon now. Okay, and I'm excited. I'm excited to build our connection, and I think this is really good for not just us, but for all artists that are going to get involved.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
No problem. You got it.